Welcome to Taking Stock. I'm Amanda Lang. Coming up on the show, despite Canada's relative wealth, why are so many of its citizens going hungry? And mortgages are rolling over this year and next. How will homeowners fare? Plus, the Minister of Jobs and Families on preparing for the future. That's all ahead. First, for the week that was in business, it's time for the briefs. The IMF warned against complacency this week, suggesting that global economies are too comfortable with risks, including trade wars and geopolitical tension. That raises the specter of a sharp correction if anything upsets that outlook. It also noted that many assets are highly valued, priming them for a fall. Markets certainly reacted to China's export restrictions on rare earth minerals, the vast majority of which are mined and processed in China. The new rules take effect on November 8th and December 1st and escalate the trade war between the U.S. and China. It also opens a new front in that war as supply chains globally, which rely on those rare earth metals, could become snarled. That could hit everything from computers to cars. Manufacturing sales in Canada contracted 1% in August, according to StatsCan. That followed production declines in autos and aerospace. Sales fell in 12 of 21 sectors. Aerospace products and parts fell 8.6% in the month, with motor vehicle parts down 5.2%. And in a fresh blow to the auto sector, Stellantis said this week it will move production of the Jeep Compass from Ontario to Illinois. It's part of a pledge by the automaker to invest $13 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years. Retooling at the Ontario plant was halted last February in the face of looming tariffs. OpenAI has made a deal with chipmaker Broadcom to develop its own AI chips, with OpenAI doing the creative work and Broadcom developing and manufacturing the processors. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed. Broadcom's stock popped nearly 10% on the news. U.S. fuel distributor Sunoco got the green light from Canadian authorities for its takeover of Calgary's Parkland, a fuel retailer and refiner. The $9.1 billion U.S. deal was announced last May, but had to clear the net benefit test for approval. Parkland owns Ultramar, Chevron, and Pioneer gas stations. And those are your business briefs. With unemployment at multi-year highs in Canada, use of food banks remains also at multi-year highs. What will it take to make food more affordable? Neil Hetherington is the CEO of the Daily Bread Food Bank. Thanks for being with us.
It's great to be with you, Amanda.
We've seen these stats, Neil, and they're not getting better. We know that the volume of use is higher than it should be. I was also struck by a report recently, if I'm honest, that healthy food is even more expensive than less healthy, and I wondered how you cope with that. But let's start with just the sheer volume of customers you're facing.
Sure, it's been horrific. So now the Daily Bread Food Bank provides food for about 1 in 10 Torontonians. And so 330,000 client visits last month alone. And sort of by context, that was about 60,000 before the pandemic. So every year it has grown. On a positive note, we've seen the rate of growth decrease. So we've gone from the previous year of 38% growth. This year, in 2 weeks, we'll be announcing our growth rate of only 18%. It's still horrific, but at least it's down.
Those staying, it's a bit like inflation, isn't it, Neil? The growth stays with you. Those are people who are still using your services. Has your support risen to match it? Can you afford to stay at those levels?
The community has certainly rallied around the Daily Bread Food Bank, and so that's positive, but it's not sustainable. And certainly that's the Toronto context. Across the country, food banks are struggling. They're going to have to provide either less food or lower quality food. And so while I'm pleased to see the community rally, what I like to see even more is the community rally around some of the advocacy positions we have so that those lineups start to decrease, not only here in Toronto, but across the country.
Give me your top ones. What are some of the things that we should be pursuing by way of policy to help people who struggle with food security?
Well, the first one is affordable housing. And so I was delighted to see Anna Ballo take charge of the Canada Builds Home program, $13 billion invested in long-term capital that will result in homes being developed across the country. But we're not going to feel those effects for 5 to 7 years at least. So in the short term, we want to see rent supplements coming out so that people can afford to live where they work. The second is across the country, it doesn't matter which province you're part of, we treat people people on disability abysmally. Right now, if you're on disability in Ontario, you receive about $1,400 per month to survive on, and nobody can survive on that. So we lobbied hard with a coalition right across the country, and we're able to get the Canada Disability Benefit into force. It brings people's income up by another $200 per month. It's not enough, but it provides some hope.
And of course, there's also the worry about young people. There's lots of programs for food in schools. Is that meeting part of the need, or can we do better there too?
Well, we're one of the only countries that does not have a full student nutrition program providing a full hot meal at every school. When that is implemented across the country, the typical family will save about $800 a year in their food costs, and so that will take some of the sting out of the challenges that children face when they go to school hungry.
Neil, it's so good to have you. I wish we could stop having this conversation, but it's important to have it. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Amanda.
Neil Hetherington is the CEO of the Daily Bread Food Bank. Coming up, mortgage resets and a soft labor market could spell pain for some Canadians. Stay with us.